Hello, my good fellow Connecticut residents. This is Selena at the Connecticut Common Sense Podcast. I'm here by myself for a little while. Jason should hop on later, and we're going to have Austin Montero check in just a little bit. Um, and I should let him know he's going to be coming in live, and we're going to do that right now. Okay, now I just needed to, that's fair. You need to tell people that they're going to come in live because he's going to be with us for just about 20 minutes. The reason I want to have him back on again is that he had some thought process about the RTCs, and I've been getting a lot of pushback on X about the whole idea of trying to reclaim the Connecticut GOP. The party is genuinely corrupt. I'm aware of that. Yes, I'm a newbie at this. I don't pretend to be otherwise. What I'm looking at though, and my question is, how well does that third party work for anybody right now? I was a libertarian. I've said this before. I was a libertarian for 10 years. I can't think of a single time a libertarian has won an election, maybe one. I don't know if there's any who won an election in Connecticut. I don't know about it. There's probably some senator somewhere that was a libertarian. If you know of anyone, please feel free to drop that information in the comments. We always like to know that stuff. But the independent party usually just endorses a Democrat or a Republican. So when people look at the GOP and they say, oh my God, that's so horrible, I don't want to be involved in that. One would assume that when you say that, that you see yourself as being much more morally stable than the Connecticut GOP. Certainly I do. And let's be honest, it may not be such a high bar depending on which RTC you're in. So, this is all fair, and there's a ton of gatekeeping in the RTCs, which I think Austin's going to talk about. But how difficult is it to get a third party if this worked for Trump, because all he did was claim the RNC and use it like a skin suit, the parties are what we make them. And if we look at this party and say, oh my God, that party is totally corrupt, we need to start pointing fingers back at ourselves because we let it get that way. Did it take, I don't know, 50 years to get to this point? Because we can't just blame Ben Proto. He's only been the chair for a few years. This goes back a long before Mr. Proto, long before Mr. Proto. So we have to pay attention to the fact that we're the ones that weren't involved. Include myself. Nope, not involved. That's why I'm trying to get involved. And if we don't understand what the Connecticut GOP is doing, what stops them from doing the same thing to any party that MAGA puts together? Nothing. So, with that in mind, I still believe that reclaiming the Connecticut GOP is the way to go. Now, all of you out there who have tried and failed, I honor your attempt. And what we need from you is not to tell the people, those of us who are trying now, please do not tell us why it won't work. Tell us what you tried that didn't work. We need that information. That is really important information because that helps us create a new plan. When you did this before, you tried before, you were by yourself, or maybe you had a couple other people. We have an opportunity here with a 41% of people voted for Trump. That means that people are looking for change and they have hope. And we're going to need everybody on board to get this thing working. We cannot spend the rest of our lives just pretending that our government doesn't exist. That got us here. I was young and happy in the 80s, and it was not on my radar. And it isn't enough. It isn't enough to just let the quote unquote professionals do the job because government comes with one heck of a lot of temptation. You have access to information that other people don't have. It would be so easy to just go ahead and use that information. Or in the case of a lot of our current representatives, you have the opportunity to funnel money into a pet project and maybe you get something back on that. It's really easy to do that. It's just sitting there like a lump on a log. And it requires people who have a moral compass opposed to that to be in the situation and keep an eye on the people who are going to be maybe have a little less moral center, but would absolutely behave themselves if they know someone's watching. There was a study that was done a few years ago, and it's all about the honesty of philosophy professors. And these are philosophy professors that work with ethics in particular. Oh, here's Austin. I'm going to let him in. Give us a minute. Hi, Austin.
Hey there. What's up, Selena? How are you?
I'm pretty good. You're live, and hang on,
Cool.
there we go.
We'll do it live. The Bill O'Reilly meme.
Do it live. I was
Yeah,
in the middle of a story, so I'm going to finish my story,
go for it.
and then we're going to proceed forward. So what I was saying was that they did a study a few years back on professors who were doing the philosophy of ethics. And you'd think that professors who were, studying ethics would actually behave in an ethical manner. So what they were asking was how often did they do things like stealing from the lunchroom, and how often did they not do their citations correctly on papers, and the number was shockingly high, like higher than the average person. So we do a lot better as humans if we have someone kind of watching out for us. Either we think God is doing it, and that does actually promote better behavior if we believe that God is looking at us, but having a bunch of other humans around us keeping an eye on us, that also keeps us honest. And I was talking about honesty in government, and that's why how that came up. And so how are you today?
I'm doing terrific. How are you doing?
Is that raw milk you're drinking?
That is, I thought it was fitting for,
Excellent, excellent.
for coming on today. I just, you know, work's crazy. Just had to squeeze in a quick workout before
Mhm.
another call. I talked to Maureen Bannon this morning, Steve Bannon's daughter,
Oh, cool.
uh,
Very cool.
yeah, over on my podcast, which is pretty cool. So,
Right.
yeah, busy day, which is good though. I like busy as opposed to the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I've
this
been
is this is my lunch.
excellent, excellent. So for anyone who doesn't know, raw milk is incredibly good for you, and it's also actually safer statistically than pasteurized milk.
Yes, and more hydrating than water, believe it or not, if you look at some studies.
Very cool. I drank a lot of raw milk at one point, and I started getting a little fat.
Did you? Okay, well, yeah, I mean, it tastes good. It's hard to say
Yeah.
no. Like,
Yeah, and I might be better now because I think my thyroid was starting to have problems at that
okay,
point.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I'll do like one, definitely, probably more like 2 glasses a day. My dog loves it. I think I told you this last time. He absolutely is a fiend for like
uh-huh.
borderline now becoming a problem for raw milk. But he's a pug and he's pushing 30 pounds now, which is pretty big for
Oh
a boy.
my
So
Lord. That's
he
ridiculous.
he loves it. It's why it's insane. So
Oh, yeah.
could be worse things, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. I'm a pushover where my cats are concerned. So,
Yeah, I know. It's he looks at me and I'm like, okay, buddy.
you are so
Everybody
cute.
people think I'm like aggressive and crazy, and I'm like, no, it's just, like it's the dog makes you he has the keys to my heart, I guess. Will be very nice today. Feeling good today, so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's well, one side thing, and then I want to go on to the
yeah,
RTC
yeah.
thing. But you know, I mean, we're talk about men for a minute, and
Hmm.
it's like, so people think you're big and tough because you lift weights and stuff like that, and
Right, right.
but here you have this delightful little dog that you're very fond of, and I'm sure you feel even more excited about your family. Um,
Sometimes it depends. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
I know,
kidding.
I know, I know, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, married for we get our 23rd anniversary is on Monday, so
Yeah, you get it. You get it. Yeah.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Congrats.
Um, but I was talking with a friend about this morning, and
Mm.
the thing about there's men who are predatory and there are men who are good men.
Yeah.
And if and you cannot be, and Jordan Peterson says this all the time, you can't actually be a good person unless you're dangerous.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. And we hear a lot out there like oh, he's a nice guy, he's a nice guy. Like I want good guys. Not
Hmm.
nice doesn't necessarily mean good. It can, of course, but like I want good strong men, not just obviously physically, but mentally, spiritually, philosophically, having
Hmm.
their principles in the right place, willing to stand up when it's hard to do that, that sort of thing. To me,
I
that's real
want the
strength.
same thing for women. And
Exactly.
I think
100%.
we haven't, I think, it's like I'm thrilled to see this thing with, the focus on men and, trying to, because, the younger generation has just been so bashed.
Yep. Yep.
Now we're getting the backlash and good for them. Uh,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, they're standing up. Yay.
Finally.
Yeah. And I would like to see the same thing in young women because we've been sucked into this care thing, this
Yeah.
toxic care
Yeah.
thing. And it's
Yeah.
like you
It's
have
true.
you have to have a boundary. You
It
have to
is.
have a
Yep.
boundary.
Yep. There becomes a thing of toxic virtue, that's for sure. Um, but I've, like a lot of the Maha moms, just to kind of put somebody in a box, for a good thing, they've been very strong over the past
Mhm.
few years, when it especially
Oh
comes to
yeah.
school related stuff,
Hmm.
other issues.
Yeah.
They have been much stronger in my experience in many, many cases than a lot of the guys out there. So my focus has been on trying to recruit more guys, more men to hey, step into the arena here and
Yeah.
let's play a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We live in interesting times.
we do. We do.
Yeah.
It's better than boring times to go back to kind of how we started. Like, it's definitely things are changing. Age of Aquarius, that whole thing.
Mm.
Um, there is 1,000% shift. We went through COVID and then now we're coming onto this new massive AI age. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going through a huge, huge change in so many different ways of the human existence, the human condition, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna be relying on millennials and Gen Z to help us figure out how to assess
Yeah.
new information because they were raised with it. It's going to be much more natural for them.
Yeah, it's our time. I'm an older millennial, but it's our time to step up here and start doing some stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
I'm older Gen X, and
There you go.
yeah,
Yeah.
technically they say it's 65, but when they first started talking about the
They
first
keep
article,
changing it. Yeah, they keep
they
changing it.
they do, and the
Yeah.
first article that mentioned Gen X
Yeah.
was Time Magazine, and in there it was 1962.
Yeah. It's they change it all the time. I
Well,
know
they
my
make us disappear, so you
makeup
know.
now they call like the older millennials like Zennials or something. I don't even know. It's like
Oh, geez.
so
Okay.
because we didn't have cell phones until like I didn't have a cell phone until
Hmm.
maybe senior year of high school, first year of college, and it was just literally for calling somebody. Like, it wasn't
Right.
texting or we were burning CDs for friends or for a girl you like, that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
And but nothing like today and in AI and I work in that capacity professionally. It's mind blowing. What's going to be coming down the pipe here? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hopefully in a good way. If you can use it, the tool in the right way,
Yeah.
automating things, but there's going to be some changes for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So let's talk. One of the things that we talked a little bit when you were here last time about um, if you ran the Connecticut GOP,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
wouldn't that be cool? Um,
One day.
Someday.
Yep.
What changes would you make to the RTCs or anything
Yeah.
else? I mean, don't feel
Yeah.
limited.
No, for
Um,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it all starts at the top, right? So whether you're running a business or an organization, like I've run two businesses, told you this before, I think two gyms for 10 years.
Mhm.
And what I've seen across that space, in any space, and I come from a line of entrepreneurs, so it's true in any industry. Whoever the leader of the company is or the organization like the GLP, it goes all the way down the hierarchy, for better or for worse. It sets the tone. It's everything. The universal law of the universe is entropy, which is chaos, destruction, death, etc.
Mm.
The only way to change that is to counter that with the right energy to, let's say, keep up with the times or to adapt, evolve, and grow. That has not happened here in Connecticut with the GOP in any way, shape, or form
For a long time. This goes
for a
back to
long time.
before Proto.
Correct. It's been entropying daily, getting worse and worse. Only way it's going to change is from the top with a new leader. I've given Ben chances very recently too, and he's proved to me yet again he's just not fit for the role. We can do a lot better. Nothing personal towards him. We can do a lot better. And people of Connecticut on both sides, and no matter what you are, party-wise,
Mhm.
Republican, unaffiliated, independent, libertarian, Democrat, you deserve a GOP chairman who uh, is capable to do the job and represent the people that he represents, which is close to 1 million people, right?
Mhm.
So, and that filters down to all the RTCs because you're taking the lead from there. So,
Like,
I've been on two RTCs, a vice chairman of one in Brookfield, Connecticut, and on the Danbury RTC, which is obviously a city, seventh or eighth biggest city in Connecticut, both in the same congressional district. And um, so I've experienced two different ways to kind of run things and from different chairmen over the course of that period. And the things like I mentioned that I think need to be changed from an RTC level to make them better and to stop or pause entropy, which you can only really pause. You can't really stop it, just the nature of everything. Like, this pen is going to entropy, this book, the road, any organization. So it is four things, right? First thing is you have to charge a fee to be on an RTC.
mhm.
If you do not, what happens is, and I would charge, people who pay attention, and I would charge at least $199 a year plus for every member. Reason being is on a lot of these RTCs, and I've experienced this, you'll have somebody not come to a meeting for a year, and then that person will come and vote on whom they want to put up for mayor, city council, for selectmen, board of ed, without
Mhm.
having any clue of what the heck's going on or not being involved ever.
Mhm.
Then the executive committees of those RTCs, even though it's in their bylaws, if you miss X amount of meetings, this person should be removed from the committee. They don't enforce those, right? So if you have a paid membership, that will get rid of that, I think, right away. And again, people will pay attention more. They'll be more invested in everything: fundraising, door knocking, campaigning, recruiting, registering voters, etc. On top of that, a lot of towns have Democrat town committee offices, right? Not in the town hall or city hall, where Republicans do not have that in a lot of places, as far as I know. So for towns that don't have that, from the Republican standpoint, you can also use that paid membership piece to all go towards the headquarters, right? It doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be fancy. It can be literally an office in an industrial warehouse or a corporate park or whatever. If it holds 25 people, 30 people, 40 people, what have you, which brings me to my next point, depending on the size of your committee. But that money can go towards that and pay for that rent along with the fundraising you do at your other events. So to layer on top of that, the next thing I would do is you have to make these town committees like double in size at least. Otherwise,
How big are they usually?
so the two I've been on, the one in Danbury, was 35 members. Danbury's a 100,000 person town, city. Brookfield, 25 members, 10 alternates, so 35 members. Um, you could easily double those to 70 members. I think 70 members. And I know some towns like Trumbull have a big RTC, which is good. So
Mhm.
I would double the size. To me, what that would do is that would first eliminate a lot of the cliques that get formed in and outside of RTCs because now you have a bigger committee. The tribal mentality is that 25 to 35, 40 person group. It's not 150 people. Tribes back in the day were much smaller,
Mhm.
25 to 35, maybe 40 at the max. So if we can bust through that plateau up to 70, 75 people, 100 people,
Mhm.
then that's going to eliminate a lot of the, I think, in-party fighting, a lot of the cliques, a lot of the tribalism, a lot of the factions, just to put us in a better place. I know, to give you an example, in Brookfield back in January of 2024, we had a caucus for our town committee. 71 people ran to be on the RTC. And because of the bylaws here, only 35 were picked. I was the highest vote getter of the 71. And I'm like, why don't we just bring 71 people on the RTC? What's the difference? It gets rid of all of the people that would have had an issue that they weren't voted on, right? Everybody's on. Here we go. Cool.
Right.
So anyway, and then enforcing the bylaws, right? Like I first mentioned with people not showing up for a year and then voting, we have to redo a lot of these bylaws in a lot of these towns, and then you have to have a chairman who has the spine or chairwoman to enforce these bylaws because if you let something go, it's just going to continue to slide. And then the last thing I would do is get rid of all proxy voting. That cannot be allowed
I'm
ever.
100% with you on that one.
Cannot be allowed. Like to use Danbury, for example, there was a couple of people running for mayor, and the town committee was voting on who they wanted to put forward. It was a very close vote. The only reason the person didn't get picked is because of uh, proxy votes were used against him. I won't say who that was, but I know him very well. So
So
it's
talk to me a little bit about the proxy voting, like that process. Can they bring in anybody and say, all right, you're going to vote for this
so
person?
what it is. So let's use Danbury as an example. So you have a 35 person RTC. So a proxy vote would be, say you're a regular member and you can't come that day, or you're out of town, or what have you, you're at work, you can give your vote to another member to vote
Uh,
for you,
okay.
which to me is completely wrong. So what happens a lot of time is, say XYZ can't make it, and he gives his vote to, XYZ,
Hmm.
and he doesn't tell her the full truth. He just goes, "Oh, just go vote for this person. He's the only person running. I can't make it tonight. Is that cool with you?" And they'll say yes without even knowing
Right.
what's happening. So you have to eliminate proxy voting. If you can't make it, you can't make it. Or if it's very important to you, schedule it around it so you can make it. And
Hmm.
again, if you're
Back to
paying a
that paid thing.
exactly. If you're paying a membership, and it's my one of my favorite sayings because it's so true, people that pay attention. And I think the higher you make it, the better. And it's because then you're gonna get people who are actually invested. And when
Mhm.
it comes to election season, which is every year, they're gonna go out there, they're gonna make phone calls, they're gonna knock
Mhm.
on doors, they're gonna go to fundraisers, they're gonna promote people digitally, they're gonna do everything they have to do to move the ball down the field, and they're gonna be truly invested. So that's what I would do, and that's what who knows, maybe one day we can do. 2027 is not that far away.
It is not. And
Yeah.
we need to start thinking about it now.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
if there's going to be, it's like, I appreciate you like articulating this because if there is a shot of us, I mean, we need to have a conversation about what's going
Yeah.
to work. And, it's like how much and how many people and all that kind of thing.
Yep.
So is there any, when it comes to RTCs, is there any, and I'm guessing the answer is no, but is there any specific is the number of people in any given RTC, is there any relationship to the number of Republicans in a given town?
No, it's just in their bylaws of how many they pick.
Okay.
So that could be a change in the bylaws too, and you just have to make the committees bigger, no matter where you are, unless you're in a very small town, like say Bridgewater, Connecticut has like 1,000 people. My parents live there, so that's why I know that. But other than that, you have a lot of people that you could definitely fill on these RTCs, and the more the merrier. And then again, if you have this membership fee, you can get that headquarters, right? You can have money already in your fundraising coffers to do what you need to do to
Mhm.
actually win. Otherwise,
Right.
you're going to see the same old status quo repeat time and time again. And then when it comes to leadership, and then I got to jump, Selena, sorry. It's
Problem.
there's a great book out there called Five Dysfunctions of a Team. It's a gift I would gladly donate to all 169 RTCs. For real, I will do that. And there's five dysfunctions of a team, and I've seen it again in businesses. I've seen it in RTCs. One, it's you have to have trust, and there's a lot of not having that.
Oh, yeah.
And we can see the CTGOP. You have to be
Hmm.
able to resolve conflict and be willing to have those hard conversations where you and I say may disagree. We have to have those conversations, public, private, whatever, to move past that and to get closer. We have to be committed as a team, right? Which we clearly are not seeing that at the state level. Have to hold others accountable. That's a big one to me,
Mm,
especially when there's mess ups, when they're not following bylaws, when there's favoritism being shown, when even stuff like minutes aren't being recorded, all
mm,
this sort of thing. And then end of the day, we have to focus on results, and you have to you have to put the right people in the right seats, right? Not everybody is meant to be running for office. Maybe somebody is better at fundraising. Maybe somebody is better at communication. Maybe somebody is better at being the secretary. All these things are super important. Just that
they
you have
are.
to get the right people in the right seats. So there's so much room for improvement. It's endless,
Yeah,
literally.
I know you've only got 20 minutes. We don't want
Yeah, and I could go on forever, but
to.
I have to jump to work now, otherwise I'll get yelled at. So
Thank you so much for being
yeah,
here.
thanks for
Appreciate
having me on.
it.
I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Okay,
Later.
bye.
See ya. Bye.
Okay. So it's lovely to have Austin with us. And so tell us in the comments what you think about an ideally working RTC. We can't have, I mean, there's a lot of complaints about how it works. We all know that that part of the system isn't working. But until we have a vision of what we actually want to do and what we want that to look like, it's impossible to move forward. We have Jason and I and a couple of people we're working with. One of the other guys we're working with is named Court, and he was on the podcast a while back. We all have ideas about how this is going to work, and we, but we need you guys to hop in there and give this some thought. What does that look like to you? I am not interested in this is never going to work because if you say it's never going to work, your next job is to say what will work. Because otherwise, we just sit here in a puddle. We need to go slay the dragons because wherever there's dragons, there's treasure. So let's go get the treasure. And I don't know if I guess we don't have Jason, so this is just going to be a short one today. And I would really love to hear you guys' comments. Post in the comments, whether that's on YouTube or Rumble or Substack, however you're listening to this. And please share the podcast and hop on X if you're not on X. And because that's actually where the stuff's happening. We post on Facebook, but Facebook is just impossible to have a conversation on, and you're likely to get completely shuttered. And we still get problems on X. So please hop into the conversation and start participating. There's room for everybody. It's a really big table, and there's lots and lots of stuff for people to do. So you don't have to run for office. You don't even have to go try and join an RTC, but you could go sit at a voting booth. You can help someone with their campaign. There's plenty to do. So on that note, we're just going to call it a short one today, and I will see you guys on the other side of Labor Day. And everybody have a fantastic and safe weekend because it can be a little crazy out there. Watch out for the crazy drivers. All right. Take care, everybody. Oh, God bless America.